talk about just a few tips on curbing dogs that like to jump up on people, or who jump up when they're reacting overexcited when meeting a stranger on the street. This is a common issue that does typically tend to have a simple solution, but there's going to take some hard work along with the simple solution. What we want to do is we want to be consistent with how we interact with our dogs, or how we allow strangers to interact with our dogs. One tool I like to use is the sit, because most dogs know how to sit. And what I like to do is incorporate the sit into my meet and greets, especially when I meet strangers out in the neighborhood or on my walk. So the idea is that when I meet somebody, they're going to ask me if they can pet my dog or meet my dog. And what I like to do is I like to say, "That's great, he loves it. I'm doing some training with my dog right now. Can you ask him to sit first?" Seems simple, but it is actually very effective. If you've used a treat, a hand signal, a specific toy, or just good verbal praise, have some communication with your dog in the past regarding a sit, you can pass these cues on to the stranger or person that's wanting to interact with your dog when you're out on your walk, or even somebody arriving at your house. So you're transferring the sit obedience exercise to that person first, in hopes that we're creating a sit position with our dogs before they pet them or interact with them. Now, the consistent part is that if you have a dog that's boisterous or a little bit overexcited and tends to want to jump up on people or yourself, the first rule should be that this dog should learn to sit for everything, because the sitting is the opposite of jumping up. So when you're doing things like putting the leash on, daily walk, praise, food, games, toys, going from doorway out, going through your doorway outside to inside, this dog should be consistently trained to sit for all of those exercises, so that the habit becomes less jumping up and more I sit for affection, I sit for food, or I sit for moving forward or going through doorways. You can create habits in dogs that become a little bit more of a default or automatic. Instead of jumping up, I sit for these things. And that takes a lot of hard work and consistency from a handler that's dealing with the jumping up. But the solution is fairly simple. It's not that complicated. It's just that we want to do something called counter conditioning, which is we want to make the reaction of jumping up actually become a sit instead, by changing that habit and being really consistent. So we'll use Timber here. And I'm just going to invite Jeff into the screen if he wants to come in from this side. He's going to walk up, ask me if he can pet my dog. I'm going to say sure, and I'm going to pass him a treat. He's going to ask Timber to sit before he pets him. Okay? Hi.
Hello. Can I pet your dog?
Yes, I'm just doing some dog training. Can you make sure he sits first?
Of course.
Sit. So just the transfer of that dog training from Jeff to Timber is something you want to just pass on. Now, if you have the hand signal and you have the treat or reward handy, typically your dog will already see the cues coming from whoever it is that's coming in and wanting to interact with your dog, and they'll know what's going on. In this case, we use the treat, and Timber's already gone into his obedience mode and went to a sit. So just by having this out and this hand signal, the dog knows to sit, and then we can have a better opportunity to interact with the dog from a more appropriate position rather than jumping up. Okay guys, so if you're having some problems with jumping up, make sure we're being really consistent. Have your dog sit for everything, so we're creating good habits, and educate people that you're meeting on the street on how to do the sit, and incorporate them into your training. Makes it a lot easier when you can have that quick conversation with somebody The reality is, most people that want to pet your dog would also like to jump in and probably enjoy a little bit of dog training with the sit as well. Let's get out there and find those situations and let's try these techniques out. Thanks, guys.